Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, taped on Twitch, brought to you, available on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob, and I'm also your friend who you think is a dick, but is actually totally justified in separating myself from your toxic behavior.
Wait, I don't want to be the Hogan of this situation.
I wasn't. That wasn't directing that at you. I was directing it out ethereally.
The you.
The you.
You.
It was a theoretical you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. We are returning to 1987 to continue Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, which of course Andre was totally in the right the whole time. Hogan's a giant dick.
Fuck Hulk Hogan. Simple message. Easy as pie.
Yep.
3 words.
Yes. So we are on the road to WrestleMania III. Only a couple weeks to go, but before we get there, we have a Saturday night's main event. Now, I didn't bring back the Elton John lyrics like I did for episode 2, all the way back in episode 2 when we first did a Saturday night's main event episode.
I'm gratified for that.
But because it's been so long since we've done one, I'll go ahead and reiterate what that is. Saturday night's main event was basically WWE had a great relationship with NBC, especially their Dick Ebersol, who was in charge of the channel at that point. And during weeks where Saturday Night Live was on a break, WWE would take the time slot.
Again, weird. I said this back in episode 2. I'll say it again. Weird time slot taker, but okay.
Mm-hmm. And basically, especially because this is an era where WWE is only doing 4 pay-per-views a year starting in 1987, really. Yeah, okay. At this point in time, the only pay-per-view was WrestleMania on a yearly basis. And they would start getting more pay-per-views in the later in 87. But Saturday night's main event could be considered quasi pay-per-view. At the very least, it was always it was understood these were big shows that are important, and they put important stuff on these shows.
I mean, yeah, the last one, the first ever Saturday night main event we did was the formation of the Superpowers. They go weirdly hard for this, for this Saturday Night Live time filler.
Yeah. They recognize their opportunity being on network television and decide to take advantage of it. So this is the March 14th, 1987, Saturday night's main event. Weeks away, only I think 2 weeks before WrestleMania 3. And since our last time in the 80s, I guess we should go ahead and just mention what happened last time we were here. Is that mostly it was about the Andre Hogan contract signing was the big thing, where Hogan kind of just shook like a maniac the whole time, because this is what him being mad, his mad acting looks like.
Yeah, great Hulk Hogan, fucking Olivier tier actor. Why is anybody questioning his performing? I think he should have done very well in Hollywood, and the failure of his movie career makes me very confused.
That's true. So Hogan overacts like a maniac. Andre just kind of acts like a normal person. We got some great quotes from Hogan, though, like when Andre starts speaking French at him and he goes, "You speak English when you're talking to me."
Yeah, that was bad.
And then right at the end, he's like, "This contract was signed in blood," when it was in fact not signed in blood. It was signed with ink.
Little fucker.
Other than that, not a whole lot went down because they have all the WrestleMania matches set. And as we talked about last time, that we're in this era of storytelling where it's like we get to the match, and after we get the match, in terms of like they've announced it. We just kind of spin our wheels till the match actually happens.
Yeah, the fact that this is a mode, right?
Mm.
It's they struggle. They've struggled for so long to pace this out better, and it's just depressing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Which there has been an episode of Primetime Wrestling since our last episode, and I
How is
normally I
there
would.
so much?
I mean, we're 2 weeks out.
Well, I know, but
And
I need to put this in context. I forgot what you had said at the end of our last episode, and so I assumed that this 80s episode was WrestleMania 3 and the end of it. I didn't realize we had another fucking week in between. There's nothing else to do. Why are we still here?
I mean, the thing is, like, again, I was gonna talk about the March 9th episode of Primetime Wrestling, but there's nothing to talk about. Like,
Yeah.
it's an episode of nothing. Except for, I guess, two things I'm willing to make because they're an interesting observation. First, we got the debut of Outback Jack. We brought him up a little while ago because he's just this obnoxious Australian stereotype that I didn't know existed, and he finally debuted, and he was terrible, and the audience went mild for it. It was great.
That sounds hilarious.
Now, Bobby Heenan absolutely buried this dude, just murdered him completely with the line of, it'll take a good man to beat Outback Jack, but it won't take him long.
Yeah. Oh, we don't need 10 to 12 minutes to warm up.
To warm up now. No, Greg Valentine will not need the time.
Oh damn, that's impressive.
Then there was a Butch Reed match where Reverend Slick was on commentary, and Gorilla Monsoon told him straight up that if he interfered in the match, Gorilla would kick his ass.
Thank you. That was a very helpful contribution.
Yeah, and Ricky Steamboat, we got a decent kind of promo from him talking about how, like, he's been in this business a long time and he knows he doesn't have that many opportunities to win the Intercontinental title. So it's all on the line at WrestleMania 3.
Well, Godspeed to him.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on this Saturday night's main event, the two big things to mention is that number one, Randy Savage will be defending the Intercontinental title against who? I don't know. I avoided spoilers for this, so I don't know what the matchup is.
Fair enough.
And there will be a battle royal featuring the big names. The Peacock ad specifically mentions Andre and Hogan are going to be in the battle royal. So this will be their first while it's not a match, it will be their first in-ring interaction since the heel turn, and their only in-ring interaction until we will see on TV anyway, until WrestleMania. So that has the potential to be interesting.
Sounds what fucking sure that we're getting a little preview, a little taste of what's to come.
A tiny taste of WrestleMania 3 incoming. But and so that's kind of the end of my front half spiel. Don't have a lot to say here. So if you would like to watch this Saturday night's main event along with us, you can do so at Peacock. PeacockTV.com. That is WWE's American streaming partner. Not a great service. Sorry, Peacock, you don't pay me enough to say you're good.
Yeah, fuck you, Peacock.
So you can watch for $4.99 a month with ads, $9.99 a month without ads. You can get access to Peacock's streaming service, which has the WWE portion to it. If you're outside of the U.S., you can still use the WWE Network, which would still be $9.99 American dollar dues.
Don't give it to them, but if you want to watch along with us, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, then we'll be back in the back half to talk about Saturday night's main event. And we are back. We have just finished the Saturday night's main event from March 14th, 1987. And okay.
Yeah, our wheels, we did spin indeed.
I gotta say though, like, if we had to have a wheel spinning episode, I'm glad it was this chaotic.
It was, yeah. Look, this probably would have been more fun had we been around in the era and had any modicum investment of what the fuck was going on. But, like, Christ, it was just so, like, everything that wasn't the stuff we're already in for it felt so, like, what the fuck? Just so many, like, little moments. I couldn't really make much of it outside of just all these little, like, what the fuck is going on things.
Yeah. So we want to start with the battle royal or just kind of go in order here?
I mean, well, before the battle royal, we got the main event.
The Intercontinental title match. You want to start with that?
Was that an Intercontinental title match? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
it was. Fuck, yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I yeah, it's just better to go in chronological order for these things, I think. But,
Okay.
like, Christ, I so Elizabeth is the prize to be won here.
Right.
You know, fuck the title. We're fighting for Elizabeth first and foremost. And
That's the thing. And okay, so
thanks, I hate it.
As a bit of a reminder for people, what this plot line is that sure, Macho Man Randy Savage is the Intercontinental title and is facing Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania for that title. At the same time, he's running this storyline with George the Animal Steele, who is a big, dumb, hairy dude. David, we got to see some of his fine promo skills tonight, and we'll get to that in a second. We can finish explaining all this. And he is attracted to Elizabeth, and he keeps trying to take her away from Savage. And because he's a babyface and Macho Man is a heel, all the baby faces in the company are like, "This is fine, nothing wrong here."
What the fuck? Look. I know a company run by Vincent J. McMahon in the Vincent K. McMahon, whatever. K. McMahon,
Jay
yeah,
is his dad.
yeah. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, either way, in the fucking 1980s, I am aware at this point that it's not gonna be great about women. It's 2021, and dude is still probably a little weird about that shit. But, like, dear Lord, the fact that it's Elizabeth is the prize to be won, and instead of looking at both of these men and saying, "What the fuck are you doing trying to win this woman, this human woman? You are trying to attain possession of her in a wrestling match." Oh no, there's a clear morality as to which woman attainer is the better one to be had here. What?
And I do want to emphasize that they don't try to emphasize it as her managerial services. They don't phrase it like that. They say win her.
Yeah,
And
Gene tries to for a hot second, but
right, and like again, the notion of her not being their manager but a romantic partner is also very obvious in that
yep.
George is clearly wanting to do that with Elizabeth, and Vince
Oh,
McMahon out here saying like, "What a couple they would be."
oh God.
And even in Mean Gene's interview with Randy Savage before the match, he's like, "Well, there are rumors that Elizabeth is something more than just your manager, Macho Man." And Macho doesn't dignify that with a response. And Jesse Ventura on commentary gets offended at the question. But
dude, Mean Gene telling it like it fucking is, though. He's not Mean Gene Okerlund, my man, based and red-pilled from the very start, is not here for any of this.
No, he explicitly says that, to Elizabeth, this is a situation, flip a coin, heads you lose, tails you lose.
Yeah, he said that. And, I've been simping hard for Bobby the Brain Heenan in this in this particular arc because he's correct, but I was rudely reminded during Hog Wild when we covered that Heenan may or may not actually be sincere in his morally correct defense of Andre the Giant. So instead, I have decided that my friendship with Bobby Heenan has ended, and Mean Gene Okerlund is my new best friend now. Because Mean Gene is always constant, always has that good moral compass, tells it like it fucking is, and is not a fan of the idea that we are trying to take possession of this human female via a fucking wrestling match. Dear God, every time the words Win Elizabeth are spoken in succession, a small part of me dies inside.
Yeah. I want to appreciate that Elizabeth was appropriately uncomfortable this whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Oh, I appreciate that, but she also had to play it, of course, like this damsel in distress. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm so worried, you guys. Oh no.
Mm.
Instead of the proper response, which is, wait, they're gonna fucking what? Nah, I'm not having any part of this. Goodbye. I will speak to McMahon about my goddamn contract. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Unfortunately, I don't think Women's Lib has reached the WWF yet. Please call
Really?
back later.
Really? Really? You don't say. Dear God.
Okay.
Yeah, also
so,
also you briefly mentioned it, but Ventura and McMahon can also both shut the fuck up.
probably yes. Though tonight I had far too many moments of saying, "You have a good point, Jesse."
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Also, I want to throw it back too for a second to Savage when he's like promo working with Mean Gene and Elizabeth, and he's like, "I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna go and kick George the Steel Animal's ass because he's not going to win my manager." And I don't the way he was playing this jealousy angle for, yeah, I don't think he was acting. I don't think this was a
No, there's
pretend
no way
play
that was
moment
act. Don't
for
think
a
that was
second.
acting.
No, this is
Not
made even
really.
worse by Macho Man's real life IRL behavior toward his wife, Miss Elizabeth, and his deeply held insecurities about her daring to look at another person with a penis between his legs.
Mm-hmm. Only thing of the promo I even remember, because I thought it was funny, was at the end he tries to drag Elizabeth along with her, and Okerlund's like, "Nah, Elizabeth going last tonight. Them's the rules.
Yeah.
The rules are made to be broken." And then he just walks off without her anyway.
Yeah, wrestlers like Savage don't always think real hard about what they're saying before they do, and they
Mhm.
especially don't think real hard about any sort of consistency to their actions after they
Mhm.
say the things they do. And oh
Right.
boy, uh Vince McMahon was sure to jump on that at one point later on
Yeah.
when George Steele was doing, I don't know, something rule breaky.
Probably eating the turnbuckles.
Was it? Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
I think he said that. He said that when he was biting Savage's arm.
oh yeah. And Jesse Ventura's like, "Now, where's this law and order that you're such a fan of, Vince?" And Vince is like, "Well, Randy Savage was saying that rules are meant to be broken, so we're just following your logic here, Jesse." Like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Also, or no, McMahon specifically says, um, So I guess Steele was listening when Savage said rules are made to be broken. And the next line from Ventura, I don't know why, but the delivery was so beautiful. Something about it. Ventura replies with, "Yeah, and obviously Steele was listening. Look at him; he's eating another turnbuckle again." Like it just it's so funny because because Ventura just seems so disappointed.
Like
He seems to like resigned to like, yep, yeah, he's eating another fucking turnbuckle pad.
this is
This is
my
how
life
it's
right
going.
now
This
in this
this is
moment.
my this is indeed. I mean, at least Ventura wasn't the one trying to defend that. But it's so funny.
Mhm.
Just of course he was listening. He's eating another turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Jesse Ventura is put in the position of kind of defending fair play for once. Normally he's the one defending heels cheating under the guise of, well, if you win, you win.
Yeah.
But tonight Savage was on his best behavior and Steele was the one eating turnbuckle pads.
Yeah. I, the this era just continues to be a case study in it's okay if the faces do it, I guess.
It's okay if your side does it. That's it.
That's oh man, we're working off some real great political analysis here.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Before I go any further in the match, I do want to quickly touch on we got the George Steele promo,
Cheek and
uh,
centrism.
which also poor Elizabeth getting interrupted multiple times trying to
Multiple
actually
times.
she never gets to promo because Savage always interrupts her. So
Shocker.
and then George interrupts her too. He kind of wanders over and you got me and Gene being like, you're drooling, George.
Oh,
And,
you've got to be kidding me.
yeah, and George is like, Elizabeth manager, and he has to be like,
Oh.
yes, George. She is Macho Man Randy Savage's manager, and he's like, George's manager.
Oh.
This it's a little sad to watch an English teacher pretend to be this stupid.
Wait. I'm
Well,
sorry,
I
what?
don't know what I don't remember what what class he teaches specifically, but after his wrestling career is over, George Steele becomes a teacher.
You know, I can't remember if you've mentioned this before, but even if you have, that deserves another what? I mean, dope. Fucking great. Happy for him. But what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
The trajectories.
Yeah, and
Man,
so
he's got to win all of the fun fact icebreakers, every
he does.
single one.
He's got a lot. He's
I
got a
was
lot of fun facts here.
name. Give us your name and one fun fact about yourself. Hi, yes, I used to eat turnbuckle pads in the WWF.
What?
The
And then
looks.
yeah, but then Gene mentions the match, and he's like, "Win, bye," and then he
Yeah,
walks off.
yeah, he says when to buy and leave. Art, best
Or
promo. Pipe bomb. What? No, nothing
no.
compares. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So we get to the match. Elizabeth has to sit in a lifeguard seat in front of the hard cam.
This is a disgrace to lifeguards everywhere. By the way,
And not only is she in the middle of the camera shot, we also get close-ups, picture in picture of her reactions to stuff.
the Elizabeth cam.
We get
It's
Elizabeth
great.
cam. Anyway, the match is a whole lot of whatever. Randy
Mm-hmm.
Savage tries to almost immediately bail and take Elizabeth with him, and Ricky Steamboat shows up to force him to go back.
Shocking.
So they wrestle as like I said earlier. It's basically like Randy Savage is actually kind of being on his best behavior. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
George Steele is out here ripping up, eating turnbuckles. He bites Randy Savage in the arm like a
yeah.
zombie person.
He's not exactly the most up citizen in terms of faces, and I'm kind of
Mhm.
shocked he is a face at all. But okay.
I mean, if you want to talk about characters that shouldn't be faces, we'll get to that later.
Oh, well, of course. We've been getting to that this entire fucking arc. But,
Well, oh, not that guy, a different guy.
Oh, a different guy. There's a
But
lot of
also that
guys
guy. But
who
also
shouldn't
that
be
guy.
faces around here.
Yeah.
Detecting a pattern.
And then eventually what happens is George tries to steal Elizabeth again.
Steele.
And despite Vince McMahon's best efforts to frame this as she's going willingly with George, even though George pulls her by the arm to take her off to the high chair.
Oh my god.
Savage attacks George, and like Elizabeth just hightails it out of here into the back. And George picks Randy Savage picks up the chair that Elizabeth was sitting in, throws it on George Steele. No disqualification. That is the second time in a row we've had Randy Savage hit somebody with a chair in view of the referee and no disqualification. And then he wins by countout.
Great. The refs really doing their job tonight.
Yeah, we're doing great here.
God. What
Savage
was
hightailing it out of here. George Steele poses with the Intercontinental title.
You know, I might have enjoyed that match to any extent. Were we not fighting to win Elizabeth?
Yeah, if you have this match exact same way, but that isn't part of the stipulation, then it's probably a fun enough match.
It would have been fine. Why did we have to make the lady fight? The fight for the lady part of it? Fuck off.
Well, I suppose the right guy won in this situation. I mean, at least Macho Man isn't committing kidnapping. So I guess
Jesus.
He's the one.
Imagine fucking Macho Man being the preferable, like, romantic partner in this case.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, moving on, we have the Battle Royal. And before that, throughout we get 3 different Hulk Hogan promos before this Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And he says the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Why I'm going to only highlight some bits that I feel worth talking about. Namely, something I noticed that in our continued exploration of Hulk Hogan recontextualizing everything that's going on in this feud to make himself be in the right.
Yep.
I've noticed for the first time he is talking about how he is framing Andre's betrayal as not just a betrayal of him, though he's still saying it's a betrayal of him. He's also betraying all the little Hulkamaniacs that looked up to him.
Since when? What? Why? Whomst?
So now it's not just that he betrayed Hogan, he betrayed millions of children. Therefore, he is the bad guy.
Yeah, love the moral crusading at work. Thanks, Hogan. That definitely helps my perception of you. Also, I would say that, like, in all of these, Hogan is acting like an absolute Muppet, but that's an insult to Muppets. Like, in the first one, okay, so the first one is before we even get to the main event of Savage versus Steele, we get a set of preview promos of what's to come in the episode. I recall this from the last time we did Saturday night main event.
All the matches got touched on by a bunch of different
people.
A
little bit. In Hogan's bit for that, I've gotten these vibes before, but this time I really feel compelled to point it out. Because Hogan is, of course, just acting like, oh, when you tore my shirt off, when you tore my cross off, that's when this became war, brother. And Hogan is acting like he's just been kind of wanting to kick his friend's ass for a while. Like, he's always had that inclination, just that thought in the back of his head of, just, man, this guy's such a chump. What if I just kicked his ass? But there was a part of him that's not good, but that cares about optics. It's like, no, that's a bad idea. because he didn't do anything that'll make you look like an asshole, which you are. But
He is.
he finally has an excuse to kick Andre's ass, and he seems really excited about the fact that he finally has a reason to backstab his friend out in the open like this. Again, not at all intentional on Hulk's part, but dear God, if it doesn't feel like it's there nonetheless, because
Mhm.
fuck Hulk Hogan.
Now he said that he is obsessed. He's gonna fight through every man he has to fight through to get to you tonight in this battle royal, Andre. He said he doesn't matter if there's 450 men in the battle royal. Thankfully, there was only 20.
Yep.
And
And then later he cuts another one later, and he's fucking doing like I don't even remember
oh
what they are, but
yeah,
one of those like workout things where you have
mm-hmm.
you have the handles that you hold on to and you squeeze it together and it's a resistance thing.
Yeah.
He has one of those and he's just pumping it up. He's like, Andre, Archers, kick their ass. And it's like, Jesus, dude, this is so cartoony and dumb. Why is this our main character? He's such a fucking caricature.
Yeah. By comparison, Heenan and Andre are just like, yeah, we're gonna win.
Yeah, they're dignified as shit. Shocking.
So we get to the old battle royal. It's kind of neat. It's a little bit of like a bunch of people we've seen in varying amounts up to this point.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of all the biggest players that don't otherwise have a match on this show.
A hodgepodge of and you were there.
Yeah. And so the match immediately, I like to battle royals are kind of messy clusterfucks. Even in the best of times. So
Yeah.
I like to think about like what were the story beats of this match, or at least to my best ability to parse them. And
That's
to be
fair.
fair, I had a really easy time in this match because it was all about Hogan and Andre. The other 18 people in this match were window dressing.
Oh, very true. We want to get Andre and Hogan in ring together, but we're actually being smart about it and not just like giving an early version of that match before
Mhm.
WrestleMania. So they did something actually intelligent by making it about them and everyone else is there too, I guess.
Yeah, everyone else is there to kind of force Hogan and Andre to fight other people to get to the guy they want to fight to.
Yes.
And it works, to be fair. You like immediate from this, as soon as the match starts and Hogan and Andre get in the ring, everybody gangs up on one of them as if they understand that these are the two most dangerous men in this match.
Yeah.
And we got to take them out first.
Oh, they get Hogan in the same position like 2 or 3 times of him fucking sitting up on the top rope and they're just trying so hard to tip him over, but for some reason, like
For some
4
reason,
guys
4
teaming up on him
grown men can't tip Hogan
and
over, even though they already have his feet lifted in the air.
yeah, I don't know how the physics on that one is supposed to work. And as we've learned when it comes to wrestling, you just don't think about it.
Yeah. I have the setup of who got eliminated by who, but I will say is that the vast majority of the eliminations in this match come from Hogan or Andre, just chucking dudes out
Oh
of the
yeah.
match.
First going is Honky Tonk.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
honky tonk man, his suspenders just immediately thrown out of there. And then
Oof.
you get Sika thrown out by Andre. Haku gets of the one half of the Islanders gets thrown out by Andre. Lanny Poffo gets thrown out by Andre, and his nose is busted. I don't know how much of this was I don't know if that was like a blade situation or if that was legit. I don't know.
Yeah.
They sold it as Andre headbutted him so hard.
Yeah.
But he was blood gushing all over his face, and they take him out on a stretcher.
Yeah,
Ron Bass gets eliminated by Hogan. Blackjack Mulligan gets thrown out by Andre. And I want to take this moment to kind of bring up this kind of cool bit they do with Andre. It feels like throughout the match, they consistently would use other big dudes on the roster to match up with Andre, as if to show off how he's even bigger than them. Like
Oh yeah.
they call it out with Blackjack Mulligan, who is also like almost 7 feet tall, is a huge motherfucker. But he does it with Hillbilly Jim too, who is also almost 7 feet tall.
Hillbilly Jim is fucking huge.
He is. He gets in there. Ron Bass is pretty big too, to be honest. So like if there is a dude in the match who's just a behemoth, they put him up there with Andre just so Andre can dwarf them.
Yep, pretty much.
Which is
I
a
mean,
really cool. Which is a really cool idea.
yeah, I was gonna say it's executed on well. Like it's a very distinct, very what's the word I'm looking for? You can you remember that image of dude looks big in a crowd shot and then stands up next to Andre and you're just like, what the fuck?
Like he's even bigger than you than that.
It's so effective. It's wild.
Then we get Nikolai Volkov gets eliminated by Hogan. Brian Blair of the Killer Bees gets thrown out by Andre. And then, okay, this is where it starts getting a little bit interesting. Is you get by this point in the match, the crowd has been thinned, which means Hogan and Andre get their moment to stare off with each other.
Oh yeah.
And it's a pretty sweet visual. Like everyone kind of understands how big of a moment this is. Literally, when Andre and Hogan start trading punches, you can see Hillbilly Jim in the background of the shot looking on in awe.
He's like, oh shit. It's the real shit right here.
Yeah. So they're throwing down. The crowd is going wild, and then the heels come to break it up because they're a bunch of dicks. And
of course they do.
They see an opportunity. But eventually it doesn't work. Hogan ends up fighting him off, and he throws out Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. But then, as Hogan has his back to Andre at this point, Andre grabs Hogan by his hair, by the few hairs that is still on Hogan's head. He grabs it. He headbutts Hogan in the back of his head, and then just chucks Hogan out of the ring. Midway, we're in like the middle of the match. Like not even at the end. We're like in the middle, and Hogan's out.
Hogan gets yeeted surprisingly early, and I'm glad they did it that way because it actually allows Andre a sense of power before the inevitable of course Hogan's gonna beat him at WrestleMania, but it does allow him this moment of power in the lead up, right? I did appreciate the hell out of that. He eliminates Hogan because of course he does. He's that fucking powerful.
Yeah, they're having watched this now, this whole storyline through. They've done a fantastic job of making Andre seem like he this might be a mountain Hogan can't overcome. Like Hogan's beaten everybody, but he might not actually be able to beat Andre.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as we've been endlessly memeing about it, the one cool effect that the Hogan being completely unhinged in the face of Andre's stalwart stoicism, the great effect that creates is it does lend Andre a sense of strength that Hogan just very actively, very visibly lacks. And again, that's been kind of our big meme for this whole arc of Hogan's like just losing his goddamn mind. But that strength does kind of carry over in Andre's demeanor. It does make you feel he's self-assured. He's not worried going into this match, and he rightly doesn't feel like he has any need to be because he's big and he's undefeated and he can kick Hogan's ass any day. And look, he just did with ease. Bye Hogan. It was great.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
So then we get then once Hogan is out of the match and there's only one superpower left in the match, so to speak, everyone else comes a partying to attack Andre.
Yeah, they finally all fucking get on the same page. Like, we should.
Yeah, David called this out earlier in the match. He's like, why doesn't everyone just gang up on Andre, knowing that he's the biggest and strongest guy in there?
Yeah.
And like, I want to point out that's a totally valid thought. And like, in modern times, like Andre won a ton of battle royals in his career. It was kind of a signature of his to do. But in comparison, the Big Show has won very few battle royals in his career. And part of that is because they always do a spot where everybody teams up and is like, wait, Big Show is the biggest and strongest guy here. Let's get him out.
Yup. Yeah, it's so funny to me that that was almost like a taboo move to pull ye back in the day, right?
Like you can't ganging up on a dude. That's bad. That's bad form.
It's gotta be disallowed because we gotta make Andre look powerful, so everybody's gotta take a bunch of stupid pills to compensate.
Right.
Even though I feel like you could make Andre look even stronger if you have a zillion people trying to gang up on him and he still fucking breaks out of it. I feel like that would be used to great effect, and it's unfortunate it doesn't seem like they really did that a whole lot when Andre was in Battle Royals. But whatever.
I laughed at Andre throws out jumping Jim Brunzell, and I laughed at this because when the commentary point out that was who Jim Brunzell who that was, is Jim Brunzell like tried to like dive up onto Andre, and then Andre just picked him and threw him out, and I was like, well, he jumped.
Yep.
He's jumping Jim Brunzell. He's keeping to the name.
Bye.
Yeah, but then Andre gets overwhelmed and gets thrown out by 8 men. He gets thrown out by Hillbilly Jim, both members of Demolition, Axe and Smash, Billy Jack Haynes, Butch Reed, Tama of the Islanders, and Coco Beware.
Yeah, it was almost kind of wild to me that Andre lost too, but I guess at the end of the day, this wasn't his fight to super duper win either.
Yeah, like as much as this whole match it was absolutely about Hogan and Andre, I do kind of appreciate that neither of them win, so that like someone else can get like the moment to win and winning the match. So from there, it quickly thins out a bit to the fact that I didn't even remember these guys got eliminated. And in order, Tama gets eliminated by Hercules. Axe of Demolition gets thrown out by Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly Jim gets thrown out by Smash of Demolition. And then from there, it's the final 5. And as I noted to David, they paired this up nicely where Butch Reed and Coco Beware have a match at WrestleMania. They're still in the match. Hercules and Billy Jack Haynes have a match at Mania. They're still in the match. And Smash is there too.
I appreciate that again. It seems like there was some intelligent planning that went into this match. Kudos.
Yep. So Butch Reed gets thrown out by Coco Beware. Bada bing, bada boom. And then from there, it pairs off into 2v2 because you got the 2 heels, Hercules and Smash, and the 2 baby faces, Billy Jack Haynes and Coco Beware.
Yeah.
So we got to get some nice 2-on-2 action. Eventually, Coco is thrown out by Hercules. And from there, it becomes 2-on-1. And Bill and Jesse Ventura is having a ball on commentary at this.
Oh yeah, no, Ventura. First of all, shout out to Ventura for also shit talking Hogan during this fight. He was spitting some facts, but yeah, he's going hog wild for the heels, kind of coming out for this one. And Hercules Hernandez ends up with the dub. Neat.
He does. Smash and to say how it happened, Smash and Hercules, they're beating down on Billy Jack Haynes, but then a malfunction at the Junction happens, and old Smash accidentally hits Hercules, and then Billy Jack Haynes throws out Smash. So it's down to Billy Jack and Hercules. They're going to have the match. And then Billy Jack seems like he has it won. Then Bobby Heenan jumps up and distracts Billy Jack. And Billy Jack, like an idiot, pays attention to Bobby Heenan. And then Hercules throws Billy Jack Haynes out of the ring. Get out.
Man, the evergreen moves of someone taking a stupid pill to actually take the bait on distraction and hitting someone of your own morality by accident because you fucked up the thing. Those are just evergreen. They'll never. They're omnipresent. They will always be and always have been.
They will truly never go away. It's not even the last malfunction at the Junction in this show.
Nope, not remotely.
No. So Hercules gets the big win, gets the battle royal win,
Which
and
again,
after the
neat.
yeah, after the match, we get another promo from Andre and Heenan, and another promo from Hogan.
Yeah.
Heenan and Andre are celebrating. Heenan, he's glad because a member of his family got the dub, and as they both pointed out, is Andre's feeling good even in defeat because it took 8 men to eliminate me. But one giant was gonna throw out Hulk Hogan.
Hogan, yeah. Also, you know what? I want to shout this out too. Look at Andre being legitimately happy for his friends getting a win, even though he wasn't the one who won.
Mhm.
Hogan, take fucking notes.
Yep. Andre was very supportive of Heenan,
It was
someone
so
else, one of other Heenan's
wholesome.
clients getting a win.
It was so wholesome. Heenan comes up and said, "We won," and Andre's like, "Yeah, like, yeah, that's sweet. You celebrate for your teammates and your friends legitimately, and you don't make it all about yourself." Hogan, Hogan, uh, I,
I don't
Hogan,
understand. I don't understand, dude.
Terry. Oh
Then
god,
Hogan he cuts the promo just kind of being sad, and he accuses Andre of having always been a cheater. Great.
thank you.
But otherwise is just kind of like mad that he lost. Waka waka
Yep,
waka.
yep.
From there, we get the Heart Foundation's first time defending the tag
Uh,
titles. That is, I
yeah.
mean,
Okay,
yeah,
so we get.
all of the members of the Heart Foundation in Jimmy and then Brett and Jim Neidhart, all like in promos, they're like, this is my first time. This is my first time. And it's like I'm gonna keep making
Thanks.
these innuendos
I
jokes.
hate it. This is a whole night of thanks. I hate it. Also, before that, we get Jake Roberts being interviewed by Gene Okerlund,
Oh yeah, I
and
forgot this match. I'm sorry.
supposed face Jake Roberts is waving fucking Damien the Snake in Gene's face, and Gene is clearly squicked out by it, and Jake clearly doesn't give a shit and is clearly reveling in the fact that he's kind of squicking out Gene with Damien. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah, as to cycle back when I mentioned faces who shouldn't be faces.
Uh huh.
Cycling back, Jake Roberts. Now, I get why it happened in the sense that the fans really, really love the DDT. He places his giant snake on people thing.
That's
They
annoying.
loved that. You saw it on this episode when he hits the DDT on Bundy. The crowd goes bananas.
Oh god.
But
Oh, I
as a
know.
in terms of like his character actions, he's still doing everything he did as a heel, just to other heels. So it's kind of fucked. Uh, Case in point, he mentions that he has not fed Damien in a month.
Yeah. What snakes are supposed to eat like once a week? What the
Yeah,
fuck, dude?
that is animal abuse, sir. It's
Yeah.
not made better by the fact that I am aware that in that IRL Jake Roberts didn't treat those snakes very well.
Are you
Out,
kidding me?
nah.
Of
Like
course not.
so that makes this kind of bit worse. But keeping it kayfabe, he still hasn't fed this snake in a month, and it's like, what, dude. He otherwise is still being creepy, and he suggests he's going to feed Damien King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
And
He says something to the effect of like, "Now we feed," and I was like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha."
gross. He just continues to
Stop it.
act like a weird
Stop it.
serial killer, but he's a
Yeah,
babyface now.
yeah, poor Gene just seems he's so concerned, and Jake doesn't give a shit. Why are we being so mean to Gene? Gene is the best of all of us. He
Gene is
deserves so much
great.
better. Oh
Yeah,
my
he does.
god.
He doesn't
Yeah.
deserve to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, and then we head into the ring, and Jake the Snake Roberts puts the bag with Damien the Snake in the corner, and Bundy immediately gravitates to that corner like, what the fuck is a Chekhov's gun?
What is this? And I will say, like, I've never really thought of it before right now, but it's like, dude, it's kind of fucked up. You keep the bag with the live snake in it in the ring where you could step on it.
You know, well, again, we've established he doesn't treat the snake very fucking well, so shocking
Right,
there.
but there are other people who are in charge of these matches that should be stopping this.
You know, also, does it really I feel like calling Damien in the corner a Chekhov's gun is way too dignified for that shtick at this point. He does it every goddamn time.
Yeah,
Like
like a Chekhov's gun, it really it should have some
like
level of like surprise and suspense. It like
yeah,
you know
well,
what's gonna happen.
like the rule doesn't even imply that. It's, you know, if there's a gun, it's going to go off. But
Hmm.
like there's a certain level of profundity to that, wherein you can ascribe something to that gun being there, something meaningful, something that says, yes, this gun is here and it means something that it's here and yada yada. But like, it's just every fucking time. There's no profundity anymore. It's, well, yeah, Jake the snake is here, so of course the goddamn snake's gonna get involved, and it's gonna be really a problem for everybody.
Yep. Event we get a hilarious moment that unfortunately is settled via commercial during the commercial break,
Yeah, what the
where
hell?
as we're going to commercial break, Bobby Heenan runs out and steals Damien and tries
Based?
to run off with the bag,
Yeah,
and
good.
Jake Roberts runs after him, and we cut back from commercial, and Jake Roberts is walking back out with the bag.
Okay, I'm glad you noticed that because I also had in my notes lame that Roberts got it back off screen.
Yeah, I wanted to see him kick Bobby Heenan's ass to get that bag back. That would have been
I
funny.
know. Oh man, they still in these early days they did not know how to film shit for TV. They were so lost as to how to build a televised narrative. Oh my god.
No, it was at that moment I realized how wild of an episode we got today this week.
Yeah. Also,
So
again, Keenan doing something fucking base by trying to get Damien away from his fucking abusive owner. Thank you.
anyway, the match.
Also, I want to point out after Hog Wild, goddamn, this is how you do a test of strength. We had Bundy overpowering Roberts, and it's a relatively stationary thing to do a test of strength, but there was an actual struggle, and Snake was pushing back and clearly vibrating as he tried to overcome Bundy's hold on him. It wasn't just those dudes just standing there motionless for a couple minutes on end.
You're
Actually,
saying that if you're doing a test of strength, you shouldn't just like stand there and hold hands and just kind of act like you're struggling a little bit. Like
yeah, you know,
just
shocking. I know I'm throwing out some high level wrestling theory at the moment, but just an idea. I think that a test of strength should not be quite so static. Just my 2 cents.
well,
Do with that what you will.
I think that Hog Wild match was nothing but static. I think that was part of the problem.
I think oh yeah, no, that entire time I didn't like hear words or sounds or impacts or anything. All I heard during that match was for about 10 minutes. And
Yeah,
then Hogan said some kind of cool things before spray painting the belt. So fine little, but we're not here to talk about that anymore. Thank God.
no,
Uh
it's been a few weeks. You can go back and
yeah.
watch episode 49.
Hey, shameless plug.
Yes.
Um
Anyway, back to
but
King Kong Bundy and Jake Roberts. I feel like an okay match for the most part, and then
yeah, it was
but
all
the end
right.
was kind of weird though. Again,
Again,
with the
Jake
understanding that
Roberts,
Jake Roberts is the
the
baby face.
face.
Right. So what happens is eventually Roberts decides to just grab Damien and swing it at Bundy,
Yep.
and the ref is like, "Hey dude, you can't do that."
No, that's not allowed.
And so Jake Roberts knees him in the gut.
Knees him in the.
He just grabs him and wham. And the ref is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call
Yep,
DQ now."
that's a DQ. And of course, the match keeps going, and they keep having to ring the bell, like gentlemen, gentlemen.
Gentlemen,
But
this
dear
is
God,
over.
it's
And
done. Oh, and
eventually,
then the worst
Roberts.
part is, it's fucking like, is they keep going at it for a little bit, but eventually Bundy decides fuck this, I won, and rolls away, and Jake's trying to let Damien loose again, and Bundy's gone, so he can't. So he fucking turns on the ref, and Vince McMahon, and again, I can't stress this enough, face announcer is like, oh, I wish you would stick Damien on that ref there. And Jesse Ventura, the heel, rightly is like, Vince, what the fuck?
Yeah, so yeah, they keep fighting back, and eventually he hits the DDT. Crowd goes bananas. So that leads, of course, to the part where he takes Damien, he lays him on top of his unconscious opponent, as he does. And the referee tries to stop him. He literally knee tackles him.
Yeah.
He dive tackles at Jake and cause him to knock over and drop Damien, and that's how Bundy escapes. And so he starts swinging it at the referee, and the referee hightails it. And Vince McMahon, because again, as I said, in this company, if you're a babyface, you can get away with anything you do is the morally correct decision, and anything a heel does is the morally incorrect decision. So Vince McMahon is put in the, I'm going to call it, unenviable task of justifying attacking a referee with a snake.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You could have justified it in a way that doesn't make you sound like a complete and total psychopath.
He does. He was so excited for this.
Oh my god. He could have just been like, oh, heat of the moment. It happens to the best of us. But no, he's actively rooting for that ref to get bitten by a snake. What the fuck, Vince?
Yeah, and when Jesse calls him out on how the fact that he is asking for a WWF official to get attacked by a live dangerous animal, the best justification that Vince can give is he was just really excited to see Damien attack somebody.
Yeah, like he's one of the fucking mindless fans. Get the fuck out of here, my dude. Nah, we're not playing this game. Oh god.
So
I mean, again, great indicator of who Vince McMahon is as a person, but like, Jesus.
What a chaotic cluster to end this match. Okay. Yes, so sorry I skipped over that. Let's get back to the Hart Foundation in their first time.
Oh god.
They are defending their titles against Tito Santana and Dangerous Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey is a whatever, don't care, and Tito Santana is Mexican, and you can bet that Jesse Ventura will remind you.
Also, wait. Before we go into the match itself, I have a note. What was the Gene segment after this? Because I just wrote down, poor Gene seems so beleaguered.
Oh, right. Okay. So they're interviewing the Hart Foundation about this. And they're talking about their first events, and they want to make sure that this match will be fairly enforced. And so to do so, we will have our very own observer on the outside, and that observer is none other than Danny
goddamn Davis, because of course it is. And Danny Davis is over here looking like Jack Skellington's dollar store cousin in this weird
Jack Skellington's dopey brother from the Bronx.
Born in a Dollar Tree. Like, he's in this pinstripe jacket thing, and the lines are super thin, and it's got tails, but he's wearing like a ref color Speedo under instead of any pants, and he has just like a t-shirt underneath that, and he's only buttoned the first and third buttons, and also the jacket looks like it's made out of fucking spandex. What the fuck?
It is such a look. And I don't know what to make of it, really.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But he makes a snarky remark about how he is good for this position because of his famously unbiased officiating, and they're all laughing because everyone's in on the joke here. And so we get to the match. And
also real quick before we get to the match, we have fucking Steamboat posting cringe in a mini promo
Oh
where
yeah, he gets this
he's
one little
like
bit.
dressed up in his best Ryu cosplay, and he's like, I'm gonna kick Randy Savage's ass,
I'm a dragon. I
man.
spit fire.
I'm a dragon. I spit. Oh, it was so cringy. I just had to point out the cringe, the atomic levels of
Yeah.
cringe emanating from Ricky Steamboat. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
So
Carry
in
on.
our tag title match, fun times, I guess.
I was it. It was all right. See, I
Yeah.
learned the moral of the story is even if Danny Davis isn't reffing, you just don't tell Jim Neidhart the rules ever, ever. If you tell Jim Neidhart the rules, that means you're distracted as a ref and you're going to end up missing something important because that happens again. Even though it's not Danny Davis, we still have to have the telling Neidhart to stay in the fucking corner spot, and of course it backfires.
Yeah, they so much shenanigans
Jim
in this
Neidhart be like,
match.
never tell me the rules.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that that Jesse Ventura said nothing racist on commentary.
Yep. Kudos to him.
He says his Tito Santana commentary is iffy. So thankfully, he only just insisted on calling him Chico, which is what he always does. But he said nothing else. I've heard plenty of commentary of him talking about Tito's taco truck. So,
yikes.
Anyway, as we get to the end of the match, because there's not really anything worth mentioning before it. Oh, except for we talked about malfunction at the Junction. It happened to the Hart Foundation, where Brett and Jim hit each other on accident once.
Yep. Because again, even though it's not a Danny Davis match, we also have to have the spot of Junction at the Junction, malfunction. We still have to have that spot because it's early night. It's early Hart Foundation. Give them a break.
This is what
they go on. They go on to be great wrestlers. They start off in they're trying. Okay. But yeah, man, what a night for the heels. I will say toward the end, everybody's taking care of the ref's distraction. There's a tag from the good guys that the ref doesn't see, and they just kind of say, fuck it, we're gonna jump in there anyway. So everybody's breaking the rules a little bit because again, you can get away with things as a babyface, but still get a dub for Hart Foundation, and there is much rejoicing. Yay.
Yes, the match ends where Tito Santana has Bret Hart in a figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah.
And Danny Davis grabs the megaphone from Jimmy Hart and I guess sneaks. He wasn't that subtle, not in that outfit. He sneaks halfway across the ring and he jumps in the ring. He clocks Tito Santana in the head with the megaphone. And then Bret Hart pins him and wins.
This is one of those things of like you roll a 5 on your stealth check, but the enemy somehow manages to roll a fucking 3 on their perception, and so you get it anyway.
Have you considered that the referees are always have a nat 1 in perception?
Oh yeah, no. It is a requirement that as a ref for the WWF, your passive perception is like a -2.
Yeah, it's nope. So the Hart Foundation win.
I feel like we need to set up some sort of like retroactive charity for them.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref.
Oh god, they fed into the trope. No.
Oh dear. Anyway, yes, Hearts win. We move on to our last match of the show. But not our last thing on the show. Can't wait to get to that after this.
So fucking weird.
We get Ricky Steamboat versus the Iron Sheik.
Yeah. I have to point out too, at the top of the match, we get like Steamboat and Chic logos on screen because Steamboat's the dragon and Iron Sheik is just Iron Sheik. But I fucking saw Iron Sheik's logo and it's a wrestling boot, but it's got one of those fucking curly things on it.
The curl-toed boot. He wears
the curl-toed boot, but it looks like a normal like American Western wrestling boot. They add the curl toe onto it, and I'm like, I don't like that logo. That feels a little racist, shocking because it's the Iron Sheik. And then I fucking look at him in ring, and he's goddamn actually wearing boots like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of boot he wears.
Thanks. I hate it.
Well, he has to be suitably Iranian.
His mustache is on point, though. I'll give him that.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear from the Iron Sheik say something to the lines of Iran #1, America pooey. But
oh man, I wish I could have been moved by such profound words tonight. Oh man.
Yes. Well, the dragon comes out for the start of the match. Randy Savage is immediately here.
Yeah.
Throw down, having changed into his casual wear, which is a tie, which is in his jeans. He's got a tie-dye shirt and then like a sparkly leather jacket with Macho Man on the back.
Yeah, it's still ostentatious as fuck, which is really fun.
Yep. So he tries to interfere and the ref runs him off with Jesse Ventura yelling on commentary about how this is unfair because Ricky Steamboat interfered in Randy's match. Good point, Jesse.
Yup, Jesse spitting facts again.
But don't worry, because Macho Man is coming to the commentary table.
Oh, yeah.
He kicks Vince out of his seat and puts on a headset. And so the entire rest of the match is Randy Savage talking shit on commentary.
Because of course it is. God.
Yep. The match itself is a whole lot of whatever. Iron Sheik is well past the age of like being good if he ever was. So, and this is mostly just a match to give Ricky a win. So,
man,
not
yeah,
much to write home about.
You separate Iron Sheik from Nikolai Volkov, and he loses a lot of the luster.
Mm-hmm. But you know, you get a lot of Randy talking his trash, being like, "Oh, that's what like when Ricky Steamboat was doing well." He's like, "Well, that's not gonna work on me. He's never gonna pull it off against me."
Yeah,
and
he's great oration from Savage. Good job. Wait, hold up. Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, they never had like a pithy tag team name.
No,
they were just Iron Sheik and Nikolai That's disappointing on a number of levels.
Yeah, a little bit. But then Ricky gets the win, and then Savage immediately jumps up from the announce table.
Big mad
TM. Starts yelling at Steamboat from the ring.
Yeah, very big mad TM.
At one point, Savage picks up one of the announcer's rolly chairs and threatens to throw it at Steamboat in the ring.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna throw this, even though he's a couple hundred feet away, I feel like. And
there's like 7 rows. There's like 7 rows of fans in front of him.
Definitely not gonna make. Yeah, the commentary table was weirdly removed from ringside this time, but yeah, definitely not gonna make it. But he seems so sure. He seems so sure that he's gonna be able to make that throw. And I'm like, Randy, I know you're clearly on drugs right now, but are you okay?
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, cooler heads prevail, and he doesn't try to throw that chair, and they kind of just go their separate ways without too much of a kerfuffle.
It's the little blessings, I suppose.
Yes, and then our final thing of the night is Hot Rod. Roddy Piper is there, and he gives an interview talking about how he's going to retire at WrestleMania. He's retiring, and they oddly phrase it sometimes like he's dying.
Interview. There is
one
man who will no longer be with us. That's a hell of a way to announce your retirement. Okay.
Yeah, Piper does call him out on that, but Piper, he kind of gives a thankful speech. He's like, you know, he's been 15 years, and WWF gave him more than anyone else ever has, but he's going to Hollywood and he wants to give it 110%. He wants to give it his all, and how, you know, some nights the fans were throwing eggs at him and sometimes they were throwing roses, but he always gave it his all in wrestling, and he's sad to be going. And
To be fair, I do feel like if you're no longer going to work for Vince McMahon, you might as well not exist anymore in Vince McMahon's eyes. So, that could explain the weirdly grave send off being given here.
Hmm. And then we get a highlight package of Roddy Piper's career, set to some sad music.
Some sad stock music if ever I heard it.
Yeah.
Man, Vince does not like shelling out for some memorable melodies sometimes.
Hmm. I will. The video is kind of cheesy, but I loved it, and I will be honest. And part of why I loved it is also they showed a lot of his like big moments, even when he was a heel.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah,
probably the biggest takeaway I had of that is that even though he's a babyface, they didn't shy away from his heel moments, like when he hit Jimmy Snuka in the head with a coconut, or when he shaved the head of the Haiti kid, or when he took Cyndi Lauper's gold record and smashed it over Captain Lou Albano's head.
yeah, they got some weird clips in there, dude. They were not they did not go with the most dignified look, but I kind of respect that. Hell of a way to celebrate his non-permanent retirement.
Yeah, like knowing that he's going to be back in the WWF within like 2 years
Mm,
kind of takes away from this video package, and that's unfair because that's me in the future knowing how this
yeah,
plays out, you know? Like at the
yep.
time you couldn't have possibly known that he was going to fail in Hollywood and he would just be back in wrestling. And
Look,
it was a nice
go on, sorry.
I was saying it's a nice video package and without context as you'd expect. But like if you're someone who had been following Roddy Piper's whole career, it's
That's fair. And at least he got to go on and make They Live. That was pretty dope. So,
that's
you got one
true.
cool thing out of it. But no, the theme of Roddy Piper having to return to WWF under less than ideal circumstances is a sad one to say the least.
Yeah. um. So we get this the sappy video package. It
Mhm.
hits the high points it probably should have,
Mhm.
and then after that we get the sign off from Vince and Jesse, and that is our show.
That was it. That didn't mean jack shit, but okay, it existed.
Yeah, the show, because as we just keep been harping on for 2 episodes of this now. Thank God, next time is our last time in
Yeah.
this
And
storyline.
it's actually like what we fucking came here for.
Right? They are clearly spinning their wheels because they already have everything set up for Mania. Because that's the way they pace these stories in 1987.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I appreciate that this episode was just a continuation, an expansion, if you will, on the theme of if you're a face in this era, you can get away with whatever the fuck you want, and it's no goddamn wonder that almost all the faces here are actually kind of shitty people in some form or other, but we're just gonna hand wave it away because they're popular, I guess.
Yeah, last 2 matches were the only ones where the baby faces didn't do anything too questionable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got nothing bad to say about Tito and Dan Spivey, and Ricky Steamboat is the purest babyface that has ever existed.
This is true, but he was also cringy, so that's a sin of its own.
You're right.
Uh,
So
everybody has blood on their hands, Austin.
no,
Ugh.
no ethical wrestling under WWF.
No ethical wrestling under Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Anyway, I do appreciate it's continued our theme of like babyface. The morality system in this era is fucked,
Broken
and
as shit.
even if it's gonna be a wheel spinny episode, I'm glad that they just made it weird and crazy.
It was dumb and silly, whatever.
I'm glad I had a lot to talk about tonight.
I'm glad it was only an hour long.
That's also true.
Mercifully short this
Yeah.
one.
But next time we are in 87, episode 57. We are going to go
Oh
to
shit.
WrestleMania 3. I'm pretty excited for that, at least.
I am looking forward to WrestleMania 3. That'll be a good time, unironically. I'm just we can a little bit of a slog to get there, but we made it eventually.
Yep. Now, for next time on this podcast, we return to Lucha Underground again.
In Boyle Heights, California.
As we reach the end of the Trios Tag Tournament. We will get the last participants in that Trios Tag Tournament, as well as the winner. Will be the first ever Trios Tag Team Champions. Will Penta break some more arms? Probably.
Definitely will.
Yeah, will Hernandez and Prince Puma keep having some weird beef?
Most definitely.
Will Black Lotus come back to the temple yet? Who knows? These questions and more. Same bat time, same Lucha time, same Lucha channel. There we go.
Lucha place.
Yeah.
Which is Boyle Heights, California, of course.
Of course. But that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir, my friends, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We were so delighted to have you here. If you are a returning listener, viewer, what have you, thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, what have you. We are so delighted that you choose to spend your time week after week with us here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We love your company. If you are brand new to the show, welcome. We hope you've had a great time. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think that we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you be brand new to this whole wild world of wrestling, or you are a veteran of the fandom, a knockout, if you will, we are so happy that you are here. We hope you've had a great time. If you'd like to continue to have a great time with us, we welcome you. And if you're not entirely sure how to keep having a good time with us, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell. Make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every time we drop a new episode. It's roughly once a week, just as a hint. Be sure to like, comment, all the little good engagement. It helps with the algorithm. It's a great time. Add us to your playlists, your favorites, your watch laters. Check out our playlist. Austin is kind enough to organize all the arcs we follow into their own little separate playlists that you can kind of individually follow. So if there's a specific set of episodes, arc, storyline, era, whatever that you want to specifically follow without having to do too much jumping around, you can follow them in those particular playlists. It's all nice and easy and organized. It's wonderful. If you're watching some more recent episodes, you can see our lovely faces on screen as well, as we talk with our hands and move our crazy faces around to express our joy or confusion or general indignance at whatever the fuck's going on screen week after week. However, there is also plenty of audio-only options. You can find us, namely, on 3 of the best places to find your podcast. You can find the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Google Podcasts. 3 phenomenal places. Download us, rate us, review us, whatever the hell you do to boost our metrics and say these guys are pretty dope and tell the whole world, hey, you should probably come check these out. These guys are pretty cool. Maybe more people should be listening to them. I'm just saying. So check out the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Spotify, on Apple, and Google. All of our episodes are easily found there as well, all for free. And of course, we are not just on our general media platforms. We're on social media platforms as well. You can find multiple ways to communicate with us outside of our show. First and foremost, you can find us on Twitter. I can never remember which way to point. At Noobs and Knox Pod on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing at it on screen right now. At Noobs and Knox Pod on Twitter. We tweet all the time. We're dropping dank memes. We're engaging with the discourse. We love to engage with the broader wrestling fandom on a whole. Check our DMs and all that good shit. We post every single time we drop a new episode, so you all know what the hell's going on. And of course, the highlight of our Twitter is the live tweeting of weekly wrestling, plus some. Austin, my friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Of course, upcoming as always every Wednesday night on TNT at 8 p.m. Eastern is AEW Dynamite. This upcoming week is on my birthday, actually, so that's going to be fun. Yeah. But we Dynamite AEW every single week. We live tweet it because this is the show I most consistently watch live. But in addition, we also cover WWE live pay-per-view events as well as AEW and Impact Wrestling's too. So upcoming is WWE Day 1. That is called that because it is on January 1st, 2022. I'm going to be probably not watching that one because it's a big college football day. But I'm going to go ahead and mention it anyway. If you would like to watch it, then I will go ahead and tell you that's upcoming.
Nice.
In the meantime, but also we have Impact Wrestling's next pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, on January 8th, 2022. We already have 2 matches on the line. We got Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts World Champion, absolute legendary wrestler, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, taking on Deonna Purrazzo, one of the greatest Impact Knockouts World Champion of all time. That's very exciting. In addition, we're going to have the very first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. Now, the Ultimate X match is a match where normally it's a match for the Flippy Boys to do big flippy things off of wires so they can climb to grab a big X. And for the first time ever, we're letting the women in on the fun, and the winner will get a shot at the Impact Women Knockouts title.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course, that pay-per-view is still about a month or so away, so there's plenty more time for many more matches to be announced.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, either way, it's all going to be a great time, whether it's a pay-per-view or the weekly AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Be sure to check all of that out. Austin does a great job at the live tweeting. Sometimes I hop on as well every now and again. It's a great time. I can speak from experience when I say Austin's a phenomenal person to spend your time watching wrestling with, even if it's in a digital-only format. Very funny, very insightful, all that good stuff. So be sure to check that out as well. You can also email us. We have an email account. You can email us at noobsandknockspod, noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. That is our email account where you can get into direct contact with us. You can hit us up there. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like, suggestions and things you want to see on future episodes, arcs you want us to follow, eras you want us to check out, companies you want us to look at, special event episodes you might want to see, anything of that sort. We're always down for hearing ideas. Just come and discourse with us, yell at us for our weird hot takes, anything. We just love people coming to say hi, and we love saying hi back. So if you have any interest in getting direct contact with our show, you can hit us up at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And finally, we are on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.